Homepage testing can be quite political. There's a lot of emotions. They're super fun. So our homepage was, pretty standard homepage. Probably still is kind of a standard homepage. It's what you would expect to see. There's some banners. There's some content areas. There's a bunch of links in the footer that no one's ever going to click on, right? But at least they're there. They're homepage placement. So as you guys are familiar, about 2 years ago, we acquired a small company in a small merger called EMC. And that forced us to rethink about what it is that we needed from our homepage. There's now a need to be able to talk to different personas to serve even more content than before, hopefully get people to engage with it. And as Renee was just talking about, it's important to be able to do this across any device that they choose to engage with us, whether they're B2C or B2B. It's all got to work in some way. So how do you get from where you were to where you need to be? And the answer for us, the way it works, is we do a lot of testing, a lot of iterative testing over a long period of time. So this is a small sampling of some of the tests that we ran for different types of homepages, serving up content in different manners. You can see we've got giant banners, we've got modular banners, small content areas. There's different features that are being tested, like larger search boxes, navigation that's open by default, depending on what type of device you're visiting on. Really trying to figure out for each type of these different business segments, for each of these different personas, what is it that's going to ultimately work better? The only way you can go about doing that is by digging into a ton of data. So you start with financials, you look at overall financial, and then we start breaking it down by transactional, by commercial. You measure all the different content areas that you're introducing. Are you getting engagement? Is that engagement then leading to actual conversion? And there's different types of content. So you've got merchandising content, you've got marketing content, learn content. Try to understand what's driving the most engagement, what's actually driving the most conversion. Lead gen, still an important part, as Renee was just talking about, especially for the B2B space. So we're seeing how we're impacting people getting to lead gen from the homepage. New visitors, return visitors, we basically slice it up every way possible. And then we go again even deeper because we're talking about additional features. So I mentioned the masthead that's expanded by default, the larger search box. We start looking at the different variations. Are we driving additional usage? And then ultimately, is that usage actually translating into anything? I mean, are people just clicking because it's there, or is it actually helping them get somewhere and then ultimately convert? And cold and warm states. So there's some intelligence behind some of this content based on what we know about you. So we're serving up content dynamically. So how does all this stuff impact you as you're going from cold state to warm state? And I talked about the devices, so then all of this stuff has to then be sliced up by the different device types that are coming to your site. So we're looking at desktop, laptop, tablet visitors, mobile visitors, trying to understand who's engaging with what on what device and what's most effective. So it's a pretty big change, very politically charged, but we were able to get everyone to focus on the data. We've worked really hard over the years to get people to a point where our executives are trained to say, like, okay, well, we disagree. Someone go run a test and figure it out, which is great. That's ultimately where you want to get to. But then to support that, you've got to be willing to, slice up the data 1,000 different ways to answer all the questions that are going to come.